Roll camera, roll sound. Are we set? In 3, 2, 1, action.
What? What is happening, beautiful people? Ikamalam Kusipile, and welcome to another episode of Writings on the Wall podcast. Today I am not alone. I am with Uyapha, Mihlali, Cheko, an assistant director, and a hometown girl.
Yes, definitely.
A hometown girlie. I want us to have a conversation. We've already touched on a couple of things off air. But before we get into that, how are you doing? I know how you're doing, but how are you doing for
Please answer, watching? How am I doing?
You're fine. You locked your phone in your house today. You were late, an hour late for the shoot. But other than that, I think everything is fine. How are you doing?
Why are you embarrassing me during the people? I'm good. I think, I'm good. I'm doing well.
Uh-huh.
I'm great.
Okay, Mamel. Before Singana, I want us to what?
You said you don't prepare. Next thing, you're taking out your phone.
I wanted you to be as relaxed as you possibly could. So now, Mihlali is she's a hometown girl. We went to the same high school.
Bishop High
School rep. There was, I think 2 or 3 episodes ago, my co-host asked me, he's like, "What's the name of your school?" Because we're talking about people that come from Model C schools. So he's making fun of me because I always say I couldn't speak English when I was in high school. People don't believe me.
Right?
Do you think that's possible? Or can you corroborate?
Kaluk. When you said you couldn't speak English.
In high school.
I
I tried now. I tried. There was a little bit here and there. But yeah, so we come from the same hometown at Bishop High School, and then now you're based in Joburg. And I was telling you that I've been following your journey, but I can't say that without sounding a bit weird and creepy.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. I've been following your podcast. So.
Let's not lie on camera.
No, not following, but I noticed that you had started something like that. So when you DM'd me, it was not shocking or surprising. I knew that this is something you were doing.
Okay, yeah. So we come from there, and throughout your journey of just following you, I was like, okay, you are doing something that I find quite interesting, something different from what we used to seeing, especially coming from the place that we both come from. And so I was like, I want to bring you in to share your story. And I know that's a bit intimidating, but to share your story, to have a conversation, I think, about the things that you, or rather the decision making you've had to make from the time you left high school into becoming who you are today, how the journey has been. And for the people listening, man, either from back home or Abantu that are your age, or a little bit younger, or even older, just so that they can draw something out of that, the conversation. Because something I've learned, and I'm realizing, especially in the last couple of weeks, is there's an assumption that we only learn from people that are older than us. But then through the conversations, people older than me have been saying, "Oh, damn, I never thought about this like this." And you've made, I will say, brave decisions and choices. And I think there's quite a lot to extract from Londo, so that's why I brought you in.
Now you answer the question.
Which is?
Because I asked you before we started rolling. Why did you
bring you in? Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I brought you in. So thank you for honoring my invite.
Only a pleasure.
Yeah. Before we get started,
okay,
got into the episode. This is not prep. This is just something I want us to touch on before we get into the actual conversation, right?
Okay.
So it's a game. I'll call it Behind the Caption.
A game. Okay.
And you guys do behind the scenes. So we'll do Behind the Caption.
Okay.
So you basically give me context in the story behind that caption. So I went through your social media.
No. But I get my captions on Pinterest and stuff. So please.
But you choose a caption that makes sense to you and applies to you. So then So I'll basically just read out the caption.
I can't believe you did that. No ways. No. Okay.
Sorry for the ambush. The first caption, it's a picture you posted recently, not recent, like about a year ago.
Yeah, I haven't posted this yet, I think.
Why haven't you actually?
I'm just taking a break. I'm taking a break.
From social media?
From Instagram.
Okay.
I think I'm taking a break from Instagram more than anything else.
Is there a specific reason for that?
I just feel like there's too much perfection required from Instagram. So, yeah.
Not your vibe. Crazy, because the caption I'm actually going to read is... This is a caption of a picture you posted on the 26th of Feb, 2023. And it says, less perfection, more authenticity.
Really? Yeah. Oh, nice. Can I see the picture? Okay.
Yeah, so what was happening there?
That picture, you can put it up in your edit if you can. We had gone to KZN for a friend's birthday.
Okay.
And I think I just she won't mind me talking about her. My friend is that particular friend. She's like a perfectionist. Everything must be Instagram ready. Like she's that friend where like, oh, before you eat, guys, let's take a picture for Instagram type of thing. So I was like, I like the fact that we are still friends and she's accepted that I'm not that person. I don't want perfectionism. I just want like real life connections. You know, as long as it's genuine and I want to do it, I do it. And I think maybe that's what was happening where I'm getting to a point where I'm okay with being imperfect and doing what I want to do when I want to do it, irregardless of what I'm supposed to be doing.
But now you're in an industry that requires perfection.
That's exactly my point, that I'm in an industry where I think that's, in a weird way, I think that's what's helped me, the industry that I'm in, because you work with the biggest names, like people I grew up watching, I now call colleagues, you know? And the minute the camera cuts, you talk to the person. And I think for me, that's what helped me to be like, actually, now and then it's like, oh wow, actually, like everyone, we all just people, we human. So I think that's what helped me. And I know most people are always like, the industry pressure, but that's not the case. I feel like you put that pressure on yourself because that's how you want people to perceive you. And it has nothing to do with whatever industry you're in or whatever. For me, that's my personal take.
And then when you got into the industry, did you have those kind of pressures to present or...
No.
Because the industry glorifies perfection. Like you're saying, Instagram, if you're not picture perfect or if your pictures aren't... I don't know, what's the thing? The
edited
brush,
filters.
You know? It's not good enough for the gram. You don't get the likes. You don't get the brand deals. So did you come into the industry with that kind of pressure, or were you always about less perfection and more about authenticity?
I think the pressure's there, but it's not on us, people behind the scenes.
Okay.
It's on it's on the people in front of the camera. They get the pressure. They need to secure the brands. They need to secure the gigs. So for them, it's their bread and butter. So the pressure's on them. Like, when I go to work, I look like a tomboy. I'm wearing sneakers, I'm wearing leggings, I'm wearing a hoodie. That's how we go to work, that's how we dress up every day. Like, comfort is priority, comfort, safety. In construction, you wouldn't think that it's so the only people that look gorgeous and
on the other side,
it's the people that are in front of the camera. They arrive in tights and a duke, because we get to work at like 5 a.m. crazy hours. Get to work in a duke. The makeup you see, you get what I mean? So it's the character that you are glorifying. But the minute you call cut and they after cut, the first thing they do, they go to makeup and they remove the makeup, because one of themselves, they people.
And then in terms of now on the technical side of things, in terms of like, because we were having this conversation now before we started shooting, we were talking about frames and this and that. Is that also a conversation where they're aiming for perfection? And what does it do for you where you're like, okay, this shot was not perfect? Because you only have that take.
You don't necessarily have that take. You go again until you get it right. So, yeah, you're right. Sorry. The shot has to be perfect. The people in front of the camera have to be perfect. Yeah, no, the shot matters. It matters.
You're probably spiraling right now. You're like,
No, I'm not. Yeah. But I'm like, the shot matters. It's important, you know. It's the frame. It's the picture. It tells a story. So the actors tell a story by giving you the dialogue. And so now you understand what's happening in the scene because they're talking. But also the frame tells a story.
itself, yeah.
You know, like if it's a wide frame, then you know that you're using the wide frame to tell your audience that I'm in Joburg CBD. Because if it's tight, you're not going to see that it's Joburg CBD. But when it's tight, then I'm in the emotions. Now I'm talking to Usipile. Now I'm hearing Usipile's story. But if, sorry guys, but if it's like an emotional scene, maybe someone's crying, you'll never get it on a wide because then I'm giving the viewer other things to focus on. I'm giving the viewer options. But if I keep it here, I'm not giving you an option. You have to focus on what he's saying.
So are you able to distinguish between Uyapha on set, the perfectionist, or an Uyapha, the person?
Yes.
So the moment you say cut, you also go cut.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. No, definitely. Because my job requires me to be loud. I'm an assistant director, so the first point of reference for everything is me. I need to know what's happening all around so that I can communicate it to the producers, the directors, the assistant directors, the camera department, the actors. Everyone who has a question comes to me and says, what's happening? So I need to know everything. But and then in my personal life, like I told you, I'm very shy. I don't like putting myself out there. But and then my job requires me to be out there.
Okay. Next one. 5 June 2018.
Yo, 5 June 2018. No, you can't go that far back. 2018.
Yeah, let's see if that you and today you are still connected. So you shared a Bible verse.
Okay.
Though we experience every kind of pressure, we are not crushed. At times we don't know what to do, but quitting is not an option. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 8.
Can I see the picture? Okay. That was a picture I took after church. I was from church. Yes. I'm a proper Jesus girl. So I still stick to that.
Well, but what does the specific scripture say to you? Though we experience every kind of pressure, we are not crushed.
So I've got a quote, ne? And I think this is like my favorite quote. It's a Zulu quote. Iti ngeSulu, ne? Noma siwa mara siphinde, yo not mara obviously. Noma siwa kodwa siphinde sisukume sime ngesimilo. And that's my favorite quote because even though you may fall, whatever, go through whatever you're going through, but mawusukume uphinde ume ngesimilo. So you gather yourself and you still stand up and put your best foot forward. So that's what that meant.
Was the scripture of the day, or it was just speaking to the phase of your life at that time?
Because I'm like 2018, what was happening? Because
2018 was probably when you broke into the industry.
No, because I think I broke into the industry 2016, 2017.
Is it?
Actually, maybe, because, yeah, I think I remember what happened. I remember what happened. I was doing my final year, But while I was doing my final year, I started working in the industry.
Okay.
So, and then I started missing school a lot. So I'd only pitch for like when we have shoots, when we've got the school project, you're shooting this, whatever. So this one time we had to, so in varsity, because it was a film school, we had to pitch a proposal of this is the film we want to shoot. Our lecturers say they green lighted, okay, it's a dope story. And then after that, you've got a full week of shoot as students. So that week, that's what was happening at school. But then got a job, baby girl. And work was like, so I wrote an email. I spoke to my boss, my first assistant director. I was like, please, can I please just, and he was like, sure, no problem. Because everyone knew that I was still at school. Like, okay, sharp. Then I left. Next thing, while I'm at school, I get an email that side. They're like, don't come back. I'm like,
Oh my word.
don't come back? Don't come back? What do you mean? Don't come? And this is now the bosses.
Yeah.
Don't come back. I'm like, don't come back?
I thought we spoke about this.
I thought you guys understood, you know? Like, and then, and also like, you're not paying me much. Like, you're just paying me for vibes, you know? So like, come on. What do you?
Exposure.
Yeah. And I was like, shucks, okay, I dealt with this. I finished. As soon as I finished, I called my boss. It's like, hi, bo, this is what and he was like a father figure to me. So I called him like, this is what's happening. And he was like, no, don't worry. I'm going to talk to them. And really, he spoke to them. And they were like, okay, fine, come back. So maybe that's what was happening with that caption. I was going through that. Ooh, uncertainty. Now I'm not working anymore.
Do you feel like it's applicable to you right now?
Very applicable. I wanted to actually say thank you for that scripture. I wanted to say thank you for that scripture because, okay, yeah, God used you there. Yeah.
Are you going through a phase that requires you to go back to this one?
Yes, my 2024 requires me, the whole 2024 requires me to read that verse every morning.
Yeah, it's a nice one. When I went through it, I was like, this is nice. You know, though we experience every kind of pressure, we're not crushed. And then I actually went to the full scripture.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I like to get context of where this thing's going. And I was like, oh, okay.
Nice.
And it reads like verse 7 goes, but we have this treasure in jars of clay to show the surpassing belongs to God and not us.
Oh.
We are afflicted in every way, but not crushed, perplexed, but not driven to despair, persecuted, but not forsaken, struck down, but not destroyed.
Yeah,
always carrying in the body. What? Always carrying in the body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be manifested in our bodies. You've been about it.
I've been about it.
Been about it.
I've always been a Jesus girl, like
ambassador.
I've always been. Actually, my friends used to call me Jesus girl. The others used to call me Father God. No, Jesus girl was in Joburg when I was in varsity, where I was staying, and they called me I was Jesus girl. In high school, I was Father God.
Do you go to SEO?
I did. I was there every day. Yo.
I thought SEO people are dramatic.
That's being rude. I was even praying in class. I would lead prayers.
You serious?
Yes. Remember this one time? I can't believe I'm showing this. This one time, Ukanya, my friend I told you about. I remember she was sick in class. We were still in grade 8 and she had a headache. And you know when you're young, everything's like... So I was like, oh, my friend, let me pray for you. And then I remember I prayed for her. And then she got up. And then she was like, oh, guys, I'm healed. Thanks to Michelle. She prayed for me. I promise. She's going to kill me for this. But yeah. So I was a proper Jesus girl. No. Still am. Like a proper Jesus girl.
That was wild. To be honest, man, I just found it strange. I mean, at the time, obviously, you're still finding yourself. And I just didn't understand people that are like going to SEO. I'm like, yo, bro, ain't break or something.
Yeah, every day ain't break.
I was like, bro, like you could be out. you know?
No, I'd quickly go. You're taking lunch. Tuck shop. Okay. No, I hated that combo. Neza kota zabu. And then you get to Joburg. You're like, I being a kota, let me see high school guys.
No.
So quickly go get food. But I can do SEO.
Yeah, no, I didn't understand. I mean, now I'm like, okay, it makes sense, but at the time, I was like,
also mina ndikhulele ecaweni ekhaya kuyakhonzwa.
Nami ngikhulele ecaweni.
So it was like icawe has always been my life. I think also because like ukukhula kwethu, like I think early years, like 6, 7, 8, my mom is involved into icawe. My dad, like wonke umuntu ekhaya gabantu becawe. Or tatam khonzes yona.
Okay.
So there were always church people. My mom would lead youth because I was younger. So abadala kum back then, baby youth. Tatam mama mpizunge choir. Tatam we reverend. We intonton we committees ecawe.
Are you a PK?
I said reverend.
Isn't it a pastor?
I know.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. So ndikhulele ecaweni through and through. Utamkhulu wam. Every time we go home, because he was in Queenstown, now we're based in King when we moved to King. So classic komani, every day like literally every day. I kid you not. Every day we like before we leave was our quarterly scripture. Before he passed, my last conversation with him was a Bible verse.
What is it?
I don't remember, but it was a Bible verse. So that's kulile up. Plus balisele stories zoba bethandazo yonke into ihambe dibane nomthandazo yonke order. So
isn't it wild though? I think the older you get, I mean when you're younger, you can't comprehend what's happening, but I think the older you get, but you realize that a scripture will always come with something different every time you read it. So you might read the same scripture, but you figure with a different message.
Definitely.
Just like the one that we just read now. And then now,
Instagram.
The last one. And this one is on your bio as well.
Yeah.
I wasn't made to fall in line.
Okay.
I wasn't made to fall in line. This is 23 Feb 2020. Is this you?
Yes. I know. I look like I've got chubby cheeks as well there. That's me. I come on. Usipila.
Okay, yeah.
I found them.
It doesn't. I mean, there's some resemblance, but I could just pause. If I didn't know, if it wasn't on your page, it means I'd lose. Because I wouldn't know that it's you. But I wasn't made to fall in line.
Yeah. I think it's mainly because of, like you said, my journey, my career path, also being a lot of things. I always felt like I was different. I never wanted to fall in line, literally what it says. I never wanted to fall in line because, and the husband said because don't, but like church as well, saying I'm a church girl. I remember when the church that I go to back home, and like they were from a conservative church, so it was always skirts. And I'm in high school. And you know why I don't fall in line? I think it's because when I know that what I'm doing is right and my conscience is clear, I don't care what the next person thinks. I've always had that. So even when I wanted to get into the film industry and my mom was disappointed, I was just like, my conscience is clear. I'm passionate about this thing. And I believe I can do it. And then I go for it. Church as well. I was like, Thomas, like, my conscience is clear. God knows I'm about him. I'm not saying it because they're part-time. I'm not part-timing. I'm here. But so why should I care? I think I've always been that person. If my conscience is clear, I don't care what the next person thinks. And I think during my teenage years, maybe that's why my mom struggled with me a lot. Because I didn't care. It's like, but I'm doing wrong.
Now, where did you get that? Because I mean, like I said, as I was saying earlier, in your teenage years, you're trying to figure things out, and it becomes a lot easier to fall in line, either with what your parents want for you or what the streets want for you, like your friends and stuff. So where did you get that whole, oh, my conscience is clear? I don't even think I knew about I had a conscience when I was in
I
high
don't
school.
even think when your conscience is clear, because I learned but ngoku I can explain it and say that was the thinking. Andiazi. I think for me it was andenza into wrong mas. I think that's what it was. Andenza into wrong mas. You know? Like andenza into wrong babes.
So let me go about it.
And also like if one competition in Tangazam. Right?
Yeah, right. You're like, go to school, I come back. Be grateful.
Every Sunday. So I think that's always been my thinking that babes.
Do you have siblings? I saw your sister featured a lot on your thing.
Yes.
Is she younger or older?
She's younger. I'm the firstborn.
Is it? It's just the two of you?
No, it's my sister. I've got a younger brother, another sister.
Uyapha.
Kuningi.
So you're the first one that's rebellious, that's just going about, this is me, and accept me for who I am.
Rebellious and not rebellious.
Stern, let me say stern.
Like,
yeah.
I think not rebellious, but like I'm the firstborn that's bringing into ezingaziwayo ekhaya. Yayibona hayibo yintoni film ufuna shoot abantu hayibo sisi annually kaloku ndikwa 10A maths physics ntontoni
Life science.
hayibo sisi awufuni nobugqirha ke along those lines. There was a point where I wanted to do radiography, so it's like simphushele zone. Hi son. And it came out of nowhere, actually.
Yeah, I think let's actually get into that. Let's get into that, because I found, like, when I saw you and me to fall in line, I said, "Oh, okay, this one speaks to me." As well. It speaks to me, but it also just gives a different side to the place that we come from. Again, I've given context. It's a small town. Like going there, we went to a small school, not a multiracial school. So you guys were like, we learned English, close.
And people go, young into life science funza is
yeah, so you know, and I remember moving to Cape Town, and I was like, what? There's other languages. Black people can't speak their home language. It was just a mind boggle for me for the longest time. Simply because I didn't have an understanding of what happens outside of that. For me, that was reality, and it was limited to just that. It was limited to, if you got 10A, 11A, 12A, wrong.
Number one.
Yeah, wrong. If we are Kwati, accountant, you know, if you got
Kwapi,
exactly. It was literally limited to all those things. But when I heard, I was like, how did you get into this? And I think that's something that I was like very fascinated by. And when I saw this code, I was like, it makes sense why you would go for this path, but I genuinely want to understand, how did you get there? You you chose your subjects grade 9, saying funny physics and life sciences and maths. Then he was a film. You shoot about. Look, you can do that as a hobby, but you know.
Don't be rude. Respect me.
I'm saying that's
what do you mean my career is a hobby?
That's what they say to us, right? And at the time, no one is having conversations. Even during career days, they would bring people, doctors, lawyers, and blah, blah, but never anyone in the artistic or in the industry, the creative side of things. So how did you get to there? Or when did it start?
So matriculated, and then the whole varsity process, like client and so I was like, I told, and then the two things I wanted to do was psychology and radiography. So I was like, let me just go upgrade instead of sitting. Let me go upgrade, but also upgrade and say PE, because most of my friends went to PE in Cape Town. I was like, I don't want to be with my friends. Let me go to Joburg because I've got family in Joburg. I said, okay, I'm do upgrade up. During that, I'm upgrading maths and physics. And also Ndingena, so Ndingena 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I've got so much time. And I'm watching a lot of TV. With the watching a lot of TV, I guess that's when the love for story. Growing up, I was creative. So the modeling, the dancing, because when youth I used to dance. So I come take you're doing all these things, ne? And you don't realize that's the creative brain. You are creative. Like even when you're sitting with your siblings, you're just thinking. And then when you get to Joburg, while I'm upgrading, I fall in love with the TV industry. And then I started writing concepts down. I would write concepts, I would write stories. Oh, this would be a great concept. And then I tried like pitching them to channels. I'd get contacts, TV channels, call, then one by in the person. And I was like, okay, what's the next best step? What do you do? And then I started doing my research. I was like, oh, okay, let's go to film school. I looked it up, I'm like, okay, film school. Says it's this one and this one. And then I was like, okay, it's after it's at varsity. Okay, fees. I started doing all the research by myself around Joburg. But okay, now I say after fees, now varsity. Oh, my parents after is deep. And after funa, I think 30% or whatever percentage in March. So I'm like, okay, city varsity might be my best option.
Wait,
I literally did a PowerPoint presentation. It's in Joburg.
City varsity.
Yeah. I did a whole PowerPoint presentation. I remember funil my mom. It's like, Mama, okay, open day after and funuku and only after me like it's a film school. Mom was like, I'm Tanambubomba, it's fine. And then she hung up. Yo. Now I'm like, then I call my dad because he's more wokish. Hey, this is what's happening. My dad was like, hey, and cross shop, but I'm boy Eva, and then Kaubu is But now my mom's ringing. I'm like, yo, mama, I've 10 future yam. And what if this thing doesn't work? And then December that year, I went home because now and I'm like, actually, I'm really passionate about this thing. I really love it. Went home. PowerPoint presentation. Guys, this is the school. This is what happens. This is how much I'm going to need. I literally like presented as like, guys, let's do this. I've decided this is what I want to do. And I guess they realized, right, this is what she wants to do. I'm grateful that they agreed because I don't remember them fighting me and saying no or whatever. I think also dan ga applying dan mingile kwezinye indawo so apply up ezithathisayo no fonela ubani because I had a cousin who was like no fonela ubani man usesiphi UT uzakufaka. I'm like like a week later because I'm like I want this one to respond, and then as soon as I'm like irrespondile guys, irrespondile bantat, and that's how I got in.
Yeah, you know, yeah. You just mentioned you mentioned a very common, I think, a common comment and in black households. Yoba bubombako bumosh.
Funa ubumosha baby girl.
Go on.
That's what my mom said, and she hung up. Okay. I remember that day. She hung up.
So how do you overcome that? Because there's another one. Do your own thing. You want to fall flat. Basically, it's like something saying you are going to fall flat on your face.
Exactly.
Ruin it, but then don't involve us.
Literally, that's what it is. But babes, and if you because
you're young.
We warned you.
How do you overcome that at such a young age?
I don't know. God also. I think God also like. I pray things through. I pray about everything. So I think, I don't know actually. Like, I don't know. But
looking back.
Yeah. I was just, I want to do this. I want to do this. And the more I started doing the research and looking into it, I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. So I was like, I have to convince my parents that this is what I want to do.
So you get in and you are studying?
And I'm studying at City Varsity doing film and TV.
Okay.
BA film and TV.
So you get in, and what's going through your mind then?
When I'm there.
Yeah, because you're coming from, giving a background again, you're coming from a science, maths, life sciences, academic background. Now you're coming in and creativity galore. What's going through your mind?
Nothing.
Did you automatically feel like you belonged there?
Yes.
That's insane.
Because my parents are like, we're driving you to Joburg. Yes, there's a Gauteng. Parents are like, Tim, there's a Gauteng. So they're like, ay, masiyobona kwa esi school because you college. I go UJ, ayo Ntonto. And so I want maybe fly by night. They dropped me off. They spoke to the consultant. He was like, yes, your daughter, Papadala went to my aunt's place because I was still staying. So, and then they were like, Qala ngemini ethile. First day, I've never doubted it. I think I never thought of, yo, ngiyosenzisa radiography ngokuyon. No. Yeah, I was like, yeah.
This is where I belong.
Yes. And also, I think also what helped is that asifika pha sonke, yo, ekhaya, they don't even know what I'm doing. Yo, nasekhaya bajaja, yo, me, I was supposed to be a CA, I'm supposed to be doing accounting, I'm supposed to be doing law. Sonke sisangalon, hey, babes, we better make sure guys siyazi into that because the parents are not for it.
And now you go through first year, you go through second year, and you're learning obviously about TV and film and stuff. Is there any sort of mentorship that you're receiving from someone that says, okay, after this? Because I think a lot of our parents don't like the industry or this creative thing we're doing because they don't understand it. Ayikho into ethi uzofunda 4 years ugqiba kwakho uzokwenza i-concept. After that you're gonna work at a clinic. They don't know what the end product looks like.
Yep.
And generally that's why they reject it. Like so. Rapper and then
We are rapper. And then also it's another thing. They don't think you are capable.
Exactly.
We are rapper when nguwe empty. So it's like now it's gonna be hey.
Do you
empty?
Do I have it? But also because we live a life where we kind of have to hide those parts of ourselves, one. And secondly, we're not in environments that allow us to flourish. You go through high school, you didn't even know you're creative. And that's a space that's supposed to mold you and make you realize.
Drama, of course, theaters. I think now, especially because I'm in the industry, of course, theaters, the Eastern Cape, well, now we have Steve Biko Theatre, but how many times do you see plays? So we're not exposed to those things. So we as a lab. Nam, I only got exposed to it because I got to Joburg. And it fit right in with who I am. It's like, this is what I was looking for all along, you know?
Did you get that mentorship throughout your...
No. What? I only got mentorship once I got into the industry and I got a job.
But then for you to get that job, you would have had to take the step. And that's what I think that's what I'm trying to wrap my head around, because in high school you were very quiet. I think
and I'm glad you say that, because in my industry people think I'm loud. I'm like, guys, I'm very quiet. And people are like, you're lying. Guys, I'm very shy.
You'd be there just standing.
I sit back.
That's literally
standing.
After school, meal and stuff.
With my friends.
No, I think the first time we spoke, you were standing alone.
And Millie Transport.
I don't know, but you were just standing there. I'm like, oh, shame, you know? So what I'm trying to figure out is, because even when you're saying uzele apa to upgrade, but you're able to say, listen, this is what I'm interested in. I'm going to take the step. I'm going to send plays to channels. At this stage of my life, I can't even comprehend what that means and looks like, because I can't think, but I could send something to a channel.
You can.
And I mean, we're exposed to so much now, so that should be a lot easier. But for you, you were like, I'm going to send my stories and there's pictures to channels. This is what I want to do. Now, throughout varsity, are you applying the same principle? You say, I'm going to apply for jobs, I'm going to look for this. Did you know where you wanted to end up?
I don't think, first 2 years I wasn't, because now I've accepted that for me to get to where I want to be, I need to first learn and understand what this industry is about.
Okay.
So now I'm in my learning phase. I need to pass. And also they are teaching me the right things. Like we've subjects is here to script writing, directing, editing, camera work and lighting. So I'm doing the practical work. So and then while I'm doing the practical work, I think I stopped actually. I didn't call and well, I did, but now it was different. It was not the Uyapha that's calling to say, I've got the show, I think it's a great idea. Yeah, but it was the Uyapha that's like, okay, are you looking for interns? I'm available, I'm doing my final year. So that's what I was doing now.
At the time?
At the time, while in varsity.
Were you looking at something specific or you were just
No, I
anyway?
just looked at the production companies. Okay, you've got Urban Brew Studios, you've got Parental Advisory Productions, you've got Ferguson Films, you've got Red Pepper, all these production companies. Okay, Tumela. Go there physically. Drive. Bonke balapha Randburg months. Go. Guys,
This is what I want to do.
that's all. If during lunchtime, there's a commercial that's being shot, you quickly run. What are you shooting? Who's shooting this? I'm a filmmaker. I don't know. How do I get in? How do I do it?
I saw 2018, I saw your... I think the reason I was saying you got in the industry in 2018 because that's the first time I saw you posted the slate with your name, surname.
Yeah, that's why I knew what was happening because I remember 2018. Yeah.
And the production was Abo Mama.
Yes.
I lost my mind. I was in school. I was in Cape Town. And I remember when I first saw it, I was like, this is crazy. Firstly, Uyapha is doing film. I don't understand how she got there. Secondly, you're working on a big production. Thirdly,
your name is there.
I'm like you're not there in the background. Like,
yeah.
Oh, hey. Like you are actually on the slate. And I was fascinated. How does that come about for you?
So let me give you a story about that.
Yeah.
So that was 2018. So Kukla period Jobana, the other place sent me that email and Jiba cow misses. So ngok basan beke pension. God's grace, I get this because I think it was just God placing me with the right people. Because while that's happening, then someone else is like, hey, Pop is looking for interns, whatever. Okay, you've got experience because you were working at the other place. So come work here. I'm like, okay. And I was a third assistant director.
Yeah.
So what happens is that 2018, I'm graduating. So the reason for that, it was my gift. It was a gift to me from the bosses. It was a gift from Thomas Gumete and basically everyone, the crew, to say, congratulations, you've graduated. And what do you want to do? You want to end up as a director? Direct a scene.
Oh, my gosh.
So that's how it was like, yeah, Abo Mama was amazing. It was an amazing experience. Like, I've made friends. Yeah, one of them I was talking to now before. So, like, I've made friends, I've made family. And that was, so everyone was like, yeah, they celebrated me because I asked my boss, I'm like, can I please not come to work tomorrow because I'm graduating? And I think he was trying to be tough. He's like, well, I'm giving you one day tomorrow, graduation day. So everything was done by industry people. My makeup was done by my makeup artist on set. I was like, please do my makeup, please do my hair. I won't have time. I did my hair, I did my makeup. I left set, went to the mall. I bought the dress. Oh, my sister. I asked my sister to come to job. I was like, please do everything while I'm still shooting. And then they gave me the day. The following day when I came back, I was like, okay, here's a gift to you. You're going to direct a scene. And then they put my name on the slate. It's like,
me.
Look at me.
No, I promise you I lost it. But like how big? Because I think also the what's this? The mindset in the industry is that industry is very industry. And but you now from what you're mentioning, it sounds very warm. Like from this experience, you know, like it's your graduation and they make it a big deal as opposed to oh, you're graduating, you're missing a day of work, up in the buoy.
Okanye kutsalo kumrholo, we're gonna tsayitsala le daily rates.
You know, they actually made it to say, listen, you know you want to get to this place, do it, you know, and feel it. How big or how important is that, or has that been for you in your journey?
It's important because you're still finding your feet, you're still trying to understand. Because I think what I've realized is that also what we taught or what I was taught at City Varsity, there was no ADing. You can do assistant director, you taught the majors. So traffic is sitting, you realize, but actually I don't know as much as I thought I knew, you know? So everything is new. So that's very important because you've got people that are welcoming you and are so willing to teach you. I think it's also because they understand by industry, it is a creative industry. It's not really a textbook industry whereby if we fundiswe kanje varsity then is a banje. No. So because they've got that understanding, then
Is that a common thing in the industry, or is it dependent on who you are?
What the
warmth and the reception.
The warmth and the reception. I think it's a common thing. I think it's a common thing from my experience. It's a common thing. You get the warmth, you know. I've also had experiences whereby we would get like fresh kids from varsity. I think our crew members are very warm. Also, we like playing around. We're always like, is this what you want to do? No, go back to school. But it's a joke. Yeah. But also, in as much as it's a joke, there's like, we always try and be realistic because most of the time people want to come into the industry because they think it's the glitz and the glam.
Yeah.
So the first point of reference is it's not about the glitz and the glam. You know, work crazy hours. You have to be at work 4 a.m. in the morning. Or go to get 4 a.m. the next day. So your life is not really your life, and you must understand those things. So that's where the warmth is there. But great, we've got another creative because we understand that it's a creative industry. We're creatives.
Yeah.
You are born like this. You're born with a creative. It's a God-given talent, you know. So come through, come showcase your talent, but we'll also tell you the truth.
What's the biggest misconception about the industry? Ian?
It's what we're saying, that it's all glamorous and cutesy.
What's that? Cutesy and?
Demure.
Yeah.
No.
It's not.
No, not at all.
Is that what you came in with? Did you think it was the glitz and glam or?
No.
Okay.
No. Because you must remember when I came in, I wanted nothing to do with acting. I was not interested. I just loved storytelling. I think that's the mentality I came in with. I loved storytelling. The people I was following, the people I was researching on were there were no actors. It was producers, directors. What have you done? How did you get here? That's all I wanted to do.
I could be ruining or whatever, but just jumping the gun. Is there a specific story that you've thought about? Like, this would be a killer story to tell. You just haven't had the time or the resources to make it happen. Do you have it? Do you want to talk about it?
No.
No exclusives yet.
No.
If you were to tell a story about where you come from, like a king and stuff, in I don't know how you guys in a small paragraph, whatever, how would you describe it or how would you tell it? I'll tell you why I'm asking. I'm asking because I look at you, and for me, it pains me that this is a rare occurrence, you know. I've had a lot of frustration also when it comes to the school that we went to, or like the educational system, I guess. A system where it doesn't really cater for sports or any of the creative sides. I mean, we started rapping in grade 9. Okay, I was in there.
My brother was making fun of me recently, I think last week, because he's also in Joburg. He was like, yeah, because he's from Dale and my sister from the KHS. So he was like, yeah, episode bazuanje nguba kahle no rap.
Nah, right?
I'm like, guys, please respect us.
And that was a big thing at the time.
It was a big thing. Nani krampa,
it was mad. And when you look at it from a Joburg perspective, it's like we were at the forefront of like a cultural shift.
Right?
Like we were in front. Ahead.
Guys, like there was that whole squad. Like,
how does it called? There was NADOs. Those NADOs in primary school.
Go by now, but they were older than us. I know they were older than me.
With
Umanga. Yeah, you want a like group. But this is do you see? Like, no.
They were ahead, but we were always indoctrinated with the idea of Siabonis. And then it was not a compliment. It's like, my dog, if you don't focus on you. And there were comments that used to be said about if our yazi, this particular subject, or if you're Coco A, then you dome.
Yeah,
and if you dome, then you're not going anywhere in life. And I'm seeing a lot of people that were not really great in terms of like the academics, but now when I look at them, like, yo, you guys are actually
you're doing well for yourself.
You're doing well for yourselves, you know. So, and that's why in the book, but like, how would you depict that picture to someone for them to understand it? Because whenever I talk to people about it, they don't get it. They're like, okay, but you speak English now. I'm like, yes, I went to Cape Town. My first interaction with people in Cape Town was terrible because I was forced to speak English, and it was bad. I had to run out, like Nancy dining hall, was supposed to have my first meal. So we were in a catering race. I plate, tray, I had drinks, I'm hungry, I haven't eaten anything the whole day. The figure dining hall, I'm trying to eat, I look up, these guys call me. I woke up to them. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, yo, my gosh. And they get it. Yo, man, what's up? That threw me off. Oh, hey, what's up? Threw me off. Because me and Dazu, hello, how are you? I'm good, thank you. How are you? Threw me off. I'm like, I'm good, thank you. How are you? I'm like, no, we're good. I'm like, oh, you can sit with us. And I was like, I was actually on my way out. I went to go put Andy Lambe.
Yeah,
Andy Lambe. And now whenever I tell people that, they're like, okay, we get it, but that's not where you are now. But I'm like, the kids back home are probably still going through the same cycle where there's so many creatives, singers, you know, storytellers, filmmakers, dancers.
There's a lot.
But they stuck within a system that's basically saying you have to be good with maths for you to be successful in life. And look at me now. Doing podcasting. And I was
maths and physics,
life sciences. And I was good at that. You know, so because as you're saying, as a creative, you're born with it. And when you get called to come and, you know,
it's so sad. Like, that just reminded me of something. I remember this one time, and I just started working. And I mean, at the time I was working with the Fergusons. That's a big thing for me. That's what I'm thinking. And okay. We watched the Queen. Okay. And in Chalkalawe, we're from the same village, Koman.
Okay.
So Chalkalawe went to the same high school with my parents. So bayazana bona from back home. So mama xa imbona umbiza ngegama. Mama was like, hey, uyambulisa. Uhamba nami. Mama, don't do this. Because I know. And I was like, Kalawan Buddhist, hey, unjani, right? Unatishala, right? Wenzani, Mama, also how to I film in TV. And Jim, he tried. He's like, but did you remember? What do you think he's gonna? He's not impressed. He's not impressed. You know. So, just I don't know what you're saying. It's so sad that, like, for me as well, I think people only back home started taking me seriously when they saw the production companies I was working with. That's when people said, oh, yes, Benza.
Yeah.
Before that, you don't know what serious.
Hobby.
Chomi zenzo industrial psychology, zenzi accounting. Yeah, abantu ba focused. Bako UJ, bako UCT, not even UCT, but like, when city va city. So it is yeah, no. And then people only take you seriously when you're like, oh, and then they see your name on the credits. Oh, Uyapha, that's like, hey, guys.
I've been at it.
Yeah, so I get you.
There was something I saw. You ran away from my question, by the way.
I did. Okay, what is the question? How would I describe Ghana?
To depict, yeah.
How? I think it's because I don't like. What would I say?
Okay.
It's a small town. I think it's a small town that has actually produced a lot of great people. I think there's so much greatness at Ghana. Also, like with like seeing the people that I grew up with. Because also I'm grade 7, so and we grade 7 to matric, and then I left. So I only spent like 6 years, but it's my hometown. Seeing, like, watching what you guys are doing, like everyone, I always like go to people's pages to see. So I think it's a town with a lot of potential. I think it could be a one-stop shop. If, let me give you an example of where I come from back home, Queenstown, Ilaliam, my village. It's a village, ne? But it's becoming a one-stop shop because my dad's peers, Bonga Band, have they've made it in life in a way. So they are bazo back home in Aliniam. So they're improving our village in so many ways. And every time I see that, like, I know there were talks of building a shopping center for a village, you know? So they're not limiting themselves. And I think that's what I see with the King Williams. It could be a one-stop shop because you've got everything.
There's so much potential, but no one is going back.
There's so much potential. I want to go back.
I would
The first thing, anyone who knows me, I was talking to another friend of mine. She's a PR lady in the industry. We met in the industry. And she was like, Uyapha, this has always been your passion. If there's one thing I want to do, it's to take the film industry back to the Eastern Cape because we're so talented. Also, you get into my industry and there's like 20 Xhosa people in HOD positions. Why are we not working in the Eastern Cape? KZN is doing it. Why are we not doing it? Why are we not going back home to show? Gqeberha started. Why are we not continuing with that? We can't let Ibe Gqeberha and then iphelele lapho. No.
Do you know what's wild? Everyone I speak to and they ask me, where you from or what school you went to? I ask them, what's the capital town of Eastern Cape?
Bayas. Abayas, but it's a capital town, guys.
Never.
Like, put some respect.
Do you know? And Gotoba City, we've about PE and okay, it's fine. Let's leave this conversation.
It's always PE in East London.
East London, yeah. I'm like, okay, let's leave this conversation because it's not going anywhere. But like what you're saying, having so much potential coming from a capital town, there needs to be something like we need to give back to the people that are there. You know, so many dreams, so much talent. I look at people, I'm like,
so much
talent, bro, and it never got the chance to shine. I remember when we started recording, just recorded and I went to Ginsberg. There was a day I walked to a picture. Walked to a picture to record. And we would record, and I mean, at the time, Share made it was a big deal to even have a song. Like, oh my gosh, you guys have a song. But the more we did it, we didn't really get support. It was just a thing of, okay, you guys now are going to grade 10, grade 11.
Subjects.
Yeah, you guys probably want to stop doing this thing now. And in Metric, I actually stopped making music altogether. Because I was like, okay, the pressure now, I need to come back to reality. But the truth of the matter is
that was your reality.
This is reality, you know. And whether you like it or not, it does catch up with you.
Yep.
There's a video by Jordan Peterson that says, you know, being 22 is nice. You can be stupid and not know what you want to do and put things off and stuff. But when you're approaching 30, you realize the time has passed. And the things you've been saying you want to do, you haven't done them.
Ish.
And now you're getting older and time isn't really on your side. And that's what always happens.
Yep.
I feel like at that point now we're having meltdowns because Uyapha wanted to be a creative. But now she's a radiographer there in a clinic and stuff. Now tell me, you mentioned friends going into the different areas, the more established or typical career paths. Does it not mess up the relationships you had with them?
No, it didn't. It didn't because it didn't. I've always had good friends.
Okay.
I always had good, genuine friends. So, also, abanye kaloku, that are not so like good friends. Points kubo because, well, I'm studying medicine and getting down. So the good ones supported me, but the not so good friends, for them, they were happy because they're in the good books. Zabazali.
Did you have the chip on your shoulder? A chip on your shoulder? Landuba, I have to prove myself. I have to prove.
You
everyone.
have to. You have to, because akekho umuntu owenza film and TV apha Eastern Cape umidlane. Akekho. There's no one. Akho noyifundayo, akho noyenzileyo. Akekho. Zonke into uzithethayo zisuka le eGauteng. And also remember I told you I walked away from my friends. All my friends were in Cape Town, in PE. Dim dead on a Gauteng. So ndimosha ile Gauteng na because ndise Gauteng ndedwa ngoku ndizanento ze film and TV. So I have to prove myself.
Do you still have that now?
No.
Okay.
No, I think no. I think because like they've realized that I've created some sort of stability.
Okay.
In my career. I take care of myself. I pay my own bills. So it's like, oh, shame. Iyasebenza with lento yakhe. Iyasebenza with lento yakhe. Yeah, so Gogo, it's more of kasfake wethu nathi. Hey, yes, actually, I think I don't have to prove myself now. Now, I'm actually grateful. Like now that I'm thinking, I'm actually grateful because now I get more parents calling me. And I think I appreciate it more when Sekai is Lalin. Where like a family member is going to come say, and I'm grateful that I can say, no, and I can easily say, if I hear of anything, I'm phone. So I think I'm grateful that I'm able to do what I didn't have for other people. No, I get a lot of that from parents. Nabantwana, the young kids. Oh, is this different? And then I can quickly say, we're excited on excited TV. So excited TV. Do it because you're passionate. And if you're not passionate, walk away from it. It's still fine.
Yeah.
Influencer, especially nowadays, influencer with 30K followers, post on Instagram. Then you didn't waste all your time trying to get into the TV industry.
There's a parent coming to you and they're saying, "Mhlali, I understand into efuna umntanam, ne? Uthi akafuni ukuya esikolweni." But they want to be on TV, they want to be an actress or an actor. What are you saying to that parent?
I'm saying, if akafuni esikolweni, uthi ufuna ukwenzani? Uthi ufuna ufika njani kula nto yoba se-TV? Because you can get in without going to school. I remember when I started working in the industry, because I told you I started working when I was doing my final year. All the experienced people, the big names, like aibo, sawungenile bra yeka. Everyone, that's the advice I was getting. But no, you're already in, you've started. Quit. And they were right. They were so right. But I couldn't because I was already in my second year. So, okay, we'll entertain the idea that you don't want to go to school, but utuzawuyanjani, because it requires you to work 10 times harder. Because sadly, our industry is about who do you know? Are you in the right place at the right time? And are they seeing the passion? Do they believe that? Because you must remember, if you come to me and you say, by 80, you can train. I'm taking my time. I'm sharing my time from my responsibility and my work to train you. So I can't invest in something and gaboni potential. So how are you going to show that potential to that person? Industry in a way. So if you're not going to go to school, Zanjan, because iskolo also creates a community.
Yeah.
Because the people I went to school now are shooting their own things, Like, I mean, you misebenzi ifumana ngabo because ufunda nabo, besifunda sonke. Dude, khawuze man, buthe ufumene umsebenzi mos ngakuse 8 khawuze, yebo. So it creates that community.
And I think it also allows people to be familiar or to understand the power of a proof of concept. Because if I'm coming and I'm saying, hey, I'm a rapper, cool. So
So
yeah, what do you have any songs? Have you done anything? Are you willing to put in work, or
exactly.
And I think whenever we think, maybe that's also something I'm just trying to getting to understand now, is the reason why the industry or the creative side is always shunned upon by parents is because the proof of concept abanayo bona, and the people usually come to this space from life. When they're running away from actual profession, they're like, okay,
Wonqena ufunda cinga belula le hayi manje vele ni act
and they don't actually understand that there's work that comes into play. Also, you going to school, that space allowed you to interact with different people. There was a time I was so upset after I graduated because I'm very introverted, and I was like, yo, at school, and I was exposed to lawyers, accountants, this. Why did I limit my circle to just my friends? Like, I could have been friends with and I think that space allows you to build those connections.
Yes.
But someone knows, but okay, Mihlali used to be good at script writing when she was at school. Let me bring it in and allow her to do it.
I still talk to everyone who was my friend in varsity to today. And they're doing amazing things. And I'm like, can't fuck.
What does it look like for you 5 years, 10 years? Where are we going with this journey?
I think being independent, telling my stories, because we're all creators. We get into the industry because we're creators. And then it's the same as ungena esikolweni because you want to work and then you sebenza. So even when you're assistant directing and doing all those things, the end goal is to direct and produce your own things. So for me, that's my end goal, directing and producing.
Movies, shows?
Movies. I think I love storytelling. Like, I love storytelling. I love stories. Like, even when I started my directing training, I realized that I love story. I love story. I love
the idea of it.
So I need to tell stories. I need to tell my stories. And my stories is stories abantu baseQonce, stories abantu base Thornhill, Queenstown, where I grew up, women, black women, my story, who I am. I need to tell those stories.
You're passionate about storytelling. You mentioned black women, you mentioned Iqonce. What is something very close to your heart, like an initiative or a topic conversation that you feel like people aren't having and should be having, or are having, but they should continue and it needs a lot more attention?
I think it's what I was telling you, like bringing the film industry to the Eastern Cape. Okay. I'm very passionate about that. I really want to do it so badly because I think there's so much talent in the Eastern Cape, and I think we can grow our industry. I'm very passionate about that. So that's the one thing that I think we need to converse more about, because the greatest actors in South Africa
from the Eastern Cape.
And
it's nice to have someone who has context tell those stories, because you're going to have someone that's outside Eastern Cape tell Eastern Cape stories.
That's my thing.
That creates uproar all the time, because you're kind of like,
and then
it's like, because you guys aren't actually owning it.
Guys, yes, I'm not going to mention that movie. Guys are like,
I was literally thinking about that.
Yes, I know. Everyone's like, guys. So that's what I want to do. To be like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, let's own the story. Because someone else is going to own it.
Because we are rich in story. We are so rich in story. Jonga ishaka yenziwe isibini ngokanye isithathu. Ziphe zethu inkosi zase Eastern Cape because zikhona. Ten singafuna ubhala ngazo thina. Yabona, by the minute we start tapping into that, we would be rich in story, because baninzi abantu esingekabhali ngabo.
Even in the Eastern Cape, I was explaining to someone, because they're like, and I was asking them like, like, what do you mean? I'm like, in the Eastern Cape, basuka and then because someone was saying, I hear that there's Xhosas, and then kukho aba
Khwabathembu, khwamahlubi, uyabona khwamampondo, zip, where are those stories?
You guys are, we thought it was the same. Like, listen, closer to everyone, but we know Tina inside. And people don't get it. And I think if we actually took time to own it and tell those stories from a place of ndiyayaz, you know, we would be a lot happier, because I know that story was,
yeah. So that's the one thing I've always wanted to do. Also to make it more accessible, because I'm like, I decided 10 years ago when I started my journey.
Damn, 10 years ago.
It's been 10 years, but I got improvement. Why? Bapa who were in the industry before me, because now I'm in the industry. I know that utufika certain kwabantu ndiwaseqonqa ndiwasedimbaza ndiwasekoma hayibo niphi xa sixelela abazali uba sifuna ukwenza ifilm and TV nibe nini balapha eRhawutini bayasebenza abagoduke yabona. Take all those people, take them to the Eastern Cape. Like, it's time now we also have access. It's time. In fact, it's better than late for the Eastern Cape.
Yeah. But I think it's important, man, to start. It's tough being the pioneer and being the first of your kind, because, like you said, no one understands what you're talking about. There's no proof of concept. No one is speaking on your behalf, and so you have to do all the convincing, and unfortunately you have to learn as you go.
Yep.
So
trial and error,
you know, and it's not an easy thing, but I think it makes it a lot easier, which is why I think this conversation was important for me. Is it's nice to see someone that looks like you, speaks like you, you know, walks like you, say, oh, okay, they are in film. Now it makes sense. Who is far, you know, I watch a couple of podcasts. I'm like, this person, you look at them and you say they're successful. Yeah, you're like, I actually mandiyek, you know. But sometimes when you talk to like, Usibile is doing this, Gandoni, okay, so I can also do it, you know. But also understand the realities behind it, because
it's an attainable dream.
Yeah.
Now you make it an attainable dream, and that's what I've always wanted. Let it be an attainable dream, you know. It's so nice when, and I mean, industry-wise, with my colleagues, I haven't made it to where I want to be. But when you get home, everyone is so impressed and so happy and so like, and like, for me, it warms my heart, because I'm like, to these kids, I'm an attainable dream for now, because you're not in the industry. But once you get to the industry, you'll have other people to look up to. So I think it's time.
It's time. I wasn't made to fall in line.
Yeah.
I think, it's something like I said, when I saw it, I was like, this is definitely a mindset I want to adopt. It's a mindset that you need to remind yourself of. It's also quite important from what you shared now. It's quite important to have something to be rooted in. You are rooted in God, and your relationship with God has allowed you to kind of take these leaps of faith and these wild decisions that.
No, it has. Especially with my industry, it's all thanks to God. And I'm sorry that other people, maybe you've got people that are watching that are not religious or don't believe in God. But for me, that's what, some of the jobs I've gotten, I prayed for them. And that was it. That was it. I prayed and I was like, God, this is what I want. And then the next thing, you get a call from someone saying, you said you wanted to work with these people now? Oh, shut up, come.
Come through.
Yeah, then I think God had a lot to do with my career.
And those
and yes, hard work and all the other things.
But
the faith for me to want to push through and start something that no one did. Yeah.
And that is testament to the presence. When you speak, when you talk, you know, usually we'll say uthixo makakhokele makangene kwamagumbi before ndingene. And I mean, what you speak of now is literally that, where but God is in the room.
And my prayer is always, Lord, let me find favor in the sight of men. Like literally every day, that's my prayer. I'm like, favor in the sight of men. And also like Thixo gcina igama lami ezingqondweni zabantu. Mangithiwa xa kuthiwa kufuna i-80 kubekho umuntu kukho laa mntana uyapha man. Yabo? Because that's how our industry works, sadly. I-CV ithunyelwa xa kukho the someone said I got your numbers from Mama, please send your CV. So if laa mntu akafunanga ukuthumela iinamba zam zawuthini?
I feel like you've broken so many misconceptions, because there's always this misconception about the industry is cold, industry's got gatekeepers, which it probably does. But I'm just listening to now, I'm just seeing that there's another side to it. A side that maybe Tina from the outside, and even the kids who want to come in but think and isn't because there's gatekeeping and it's cold and it's this and it's that. There's the other side of it that Uyapha has gotten to experience, and that's the beauty of storytelling again, because there's always a one-sided. The things that are trendy, you're not gonna see on Twitter about, hey, kumnandi in the industry, I received warmth, or this late I got because of my graduation. You're just gonna see that Uyapha got messed over by this production, and that's what's gonna be trendy. But thank you, man.
Thank you. It's good.
Yes. We're almost done.
Okay.
In closing, what would you like to say to Uyapha?
Yeah.
10 years from now, right? And what do you think Uyapha 10 years ago would say to you right now?
What would Uyapha 10 years ago say to Uyapha now?
Yeah, and what would you say to Uyapha 10 years from now?
Okay, Uyapha 10 years ago to this Uyapha now would say, go back to plan A. I think that's what Uyapha 10 years ago would say. Go back to plan A. I actually watched a video on Instagram, and I think it's a guy, an overseas guy, who just walks around interviewing wealthy people.
The School of Hard Knocks.
And my husband, like I went to Clips and Vichan on Instagram interviewing wealth, and then the other guy said he's a millionaire, and he was like, what's your advice? And his advice was, he said, don't have plan B, because plan B you phazamisa plan A. So that stuck with me. It's like, oh, because people are always saying, especially in my industry, uthi ngoku ufundayo kuthiwe man fundi law and then le kwenza beyifayenzeki le yabo. So that's what he said. So Uyapha 10 years ago to Uyapha now would say, go back to plan A. And then uthe yesibini thini Uyapha nini
Now,
to Uyapha
10 years from now,
would say, you did it, baby girl. Because I've got faith. Yeah, I think Uyapha now to 10 years. Yeah, because 10 years I need to be far. So yeah, and I will be, in Jesus' name. So Uyapha now to Uyapha 10 years later would say, you did it, baby girl.
do you have any fears going into the next phase of your life?
Not the next phase of my life, but like, okay, maybe next phase, but not necessarily, but like fears is failure. Last week I was back home and my dad even shouted in a way, you need to stop being scared of failure, because failure is part of life. And that stuck with me. And I think it hurt me because like if my father's noticing this, I don't like failing. That's why I take time with my decisions and the things I do. That's why you're saying in high school I was an introvert, I was a church girl, because I didn't right. So my dad said that. He was like, don't be scared of failure, because failure is part of life. And that's how you get to learn.
So basically improving your relationship with failure.
I don't want to improve it, because now it's also about familiar or failure now. No, failure must not be familiar with me.
You get a little bit too close right
yeah,
now.
it's getting a bit personal in here. No. But yeah. I must, when I fail, I must embrace it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and be okay with it. Doesn't mean I'm a failure. It just means that this whatever thing didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out.
Now you move to the next one.
Goes back to my quote earlier. No masiwa, siphinde sisukume sime ngesimilo.
Siyabulela sis. Until the next time, I hope this is not the last time you're having a conversation.
Actually, yeah, maybe not. I'm joking. I'm not. But unibonela quite difficult.
No.
I agreed. Uqalile ndavuma. I was like, sure.
It wasn't as bad as you would have imagined, being in front of the camera.
Right?
But
no.
It happens.
No, I'm a technical person. I was always...
Okay. What does it look like? But thank you so much for coming through. And I hope someone gets something out of this.
I hope so too.
I know I did.
Really?
I know I did. Yeah, I remember I told you about the decision I made earlier.
Oh, yes.
It's crazy at the moment. But someone asked me, like, how do you feel about it? And I was like, at peace. I'm at peace.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And remember what I said at first, and then I quickly called myself out because I've done it before, and I did it very early on in my career. You know, and then that's when everyone started doubting me again. Once
again, doing. Yeah, so I think just going into this journey, it's just important to have conversations with like-minded people. Like-minded in the sense that, the crazy mind of a creative, but also just to know that the path isn't just the black and white thing that we've all been accustomed to. There's many ways to do it, but you have to be responsible.
And also to know that and like different these English purposes in life, and therefore we should like allow the next person to explore their purpose, so that
I was preaching last week.
What?
No,
because how didn't go hectic. I want but that's great.
The first few years I didn't, and then I think 2 years ago I was like, yo, I actually can't do this. So the verse so they gave us a scripture, and the scripture was on being chosen. Those that are predestined are called, and those that are called are justified. Those that are justified are glorified. And I had to speak basically on being chosen. And the reality is that it's difficult being chosen and being asked to follow God, because indlela ayikho lula. So you have to be umzekelo ebantwini, and that comes with being humiliated, ridiculed and stuff. And so it's come to that, and I'm like, yo, if this is what my journey has to look like, then...
And it's not always going to be rosy. I think, going back to my dad again, he said something also that stuck with me this year as well. He was like, we're taking a walk, and then he was like, let's take on what job. Because I think this whole year job has been the person that's been stuck with me. And he was just telling that stories about what job. Remember, God wavumela uSathana wanted to spare his soul. And my dad was like, God, job to his wife. When the wife said, just took a lot, job, asked the question, some and the nice things, So and then you have to always go back to that conversation of what's the pinpoint of your salvation and your belief. Because I think that keeps you in check when things are not going the way you want them to go.
Yeah. That's important. That's important. And I know you said by people that are not religious stuff. I think, some of these things are, look at them outside the context. Like, yes, within context in the Bible, but when you look at what's happening in our lives right now, and we're quick to say, you know what, things aren't working out. I'm not getting the gigs I need. Barely, meeting my targets. Then God is not there. And because Simfunela only during the good times.
Yep.
Izolo, we had class. So we have class every Monday, and we're breaking down the Lord's Prayer, and the weight it carries is intense.
Yep.
But people just say it because we don't mind, But yeah, I feel like Suzangena on
it's
gonna be a Jesus conversation.
Yeah, I know.
Jesus but yeah, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I know your rate is high, so Thank you for speaking.
Want me to send an invoice? No, it's not that. I'm joking.
Diabulela.
Thank you for having me. This is nice.
Until next time.
Definitely.
Peace, 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 peace,
Ba,
peace.
ba, ba, ba.